Heather Mcdonald has got the juiciest scoop. When you're on the road, when you're on the go, Juicy Scoop is the show to know. She talks Hollywood tales, her real life Mr. Segment serial data and serial sister. You'll be addicted and addicted fast to the #1 tabloid real life podcast. Listen in, listen up. Whoop whoop. Heather Mcdonald, Juicy Scoop.
Hello and welcome to Juicy Scoop. We have one of your favorites returning, Sarah Colonna, funny girl, glowing skin, curly hair. How are you?
I'm good, girl. How are you? You're very glowy today, your skin.
Well, I knew you were coming, so I've been seeing Dr. Kasabian, who does my Botox. I also treated myself to a facial yesterday, last minute. At the I did a self-care day. I had a day by myself. Peter was gone. Brandon was gone. And I called the Four Seasons in Westlake and was like, can someone get me in for a facial? Because I'm seeing Sarah tomorrow and I want to compete with the glow.
Your skin really does look very good. That's nice.
Then there were two gay male Juicy Scoopers in the pool because I was hanging out at the pool.
Yeah.
And so then I purposely went back after and had 2 drinks with them. So that was really kind of made it fun.
That is fun. That's a real self-care day. I love it.
As I was going to get my facial, the guy's like, I'm a Juicy Scooper. I'm like, I'm coming back to see you in an hour.
You're like, we're hanging by the pool. I mean, listen, a couple gay Juicy Scoopers by the pool on a Sunday afternoon at a Four Seasons.
75 degrees in Westlake Village.
Why didn't you text me? I would have gone.
You know what? I thought it was so last minute. I was like, I really should have, but I will next time. Anyway, that's a great, easy getaway.
Yeah. I actually ran into a Juicy Scooper yesterday as well.
Oh.
Where? It was a woman. She yelled at me from across the street. I was walking into the local peasant.
And that's her favorite
yes,
spot. Yeah.
And she said, Sarah Colonna, Juicy Scooper. And it was very sweet, and we waved.
Were you with Prince Harry?
I was with Prince Harry.
Okay.
Uh-huh. Yep.
And so that woman didn't say anything to me.
No, he was already inside.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was there. I was at Pilates. He went before me. I met him thereafter.
For those of you who don't know, there is a strong resemblance between Sarah's husband, who is a football player, now businessman, whatever you want to call him. He does everything. But he does resemble Prince Harry, or Prince Harry resembles him.
Prince Harry resembles him, yes,
and
just because they're both redheads.
Yes, and there was a mentally, we believe mentally ill, or maybe not, but she said, what did she say on Ventura Boulevard screaming at you?
We were across the street walking to the grocery store, and she said, hey, Prince Harry, fuck you.
Okay.
To John.
Yeah.
Top of her lungs. We believe that she was a little unstable.
Or she was Samantha, Megan Markle's sister. We don't know.
One of the two.
One of the two. Let's get into what went down last night, because we were hearing from all these people that were freaking out that Love is Blind season 4. Last night was supposed to the reunion where, the couples come together, and it it just crashed. We weren't able to watch it.
No,
in LA.
I couldn't. I was
reunion,
texting you. It was just like loading, like 25%. It just kept circling. This morning, it still wasn't up. I'm like, I just had to read about it because I haven't seen it.
And then I was like, I did download them all for the plane or whatever on my trip to St. Bart's, which was fabulous, by the way. And I talked all about it on my Patreon. But it was the best trip ever. I highly recommend you guys go.
It looked really
Have you
fun.
ever been to St. Bart's?
No, but I want to go. And your trip made me want to go more. I kept showing John photos.
It is so beautiful, so fun. And, it is a bit of a trek for an LA person to get there, but it's worth it. So we went because Peter's a genius.
Did you sail there?
No, we didn't sail there. We went from LAX to Panama, like Panama City in Panama.
Okay.
Which was like a 7-hour flight, but we did first class and we laid, not to brag, but I have traveled a lot and I deserve it.
The pods.
Anyway, I slept on the pod.
Oh, I
and
love
then
the pod.
we did carry on only.
Yeah, you
because
did.
I only had a 1-hour crossover. Then went to St. Martin. And then the tiny plane to St. Bart's.
Okay.
But I left LAX at 10:30 at night on Tuesday and was on my friend's yacht that was docked right there across from all the fanciest shops, Gucci, Prada. You guys would have had fun. By like noon on Wednesday.
That's the
unheard
best.
of.
Getting in and getting in the morning so you're enjoying your afternoon. Now, okay, just real quick.
Yes.
Pod, my favorite thing in the world. I felt like I had
Not the dating pods.
No.
The sleeping pods on a plane. Yeah.
Sleeping pods on a plane. Now I forgot what I was going to ask you. Never mind.
About what I do there?
I don't know what I was going to ask you. I had just my whole brain.
Anyway, I brought...
the carry-on. I'm so proud of you.
Okay.
I don't know why I didn't think that you would be able to be a light packer.
I enjoyed the challenge. And I was also like, I know I can buy clothes there. And if worse comes to worse, I can then check in on the way home, buy
Right.
another bag, check in. And which I did. On the way home, I did just check in my bags. Peter kept his carry-on, but I'm like, I'm checking these in. People asked me, okay, so what did I do? I wore a pair of tennis shoes. I brought one pair of
Yes,
flip-flops and one wedge. That's it.
That's it.
I brought no cute purses. I
Oh.
only brought my one like purse to wear on
Yep.
the plane, like a crossover.
Yeah, because you're
like-
going to be walking around so much. You don't want to keep up with a nice
and
purse.
one tiny box of jewelry. I brought no curling iron, no nothing.
You don't
okay.
need it because you're on by the beach. You had beach
Right.
hair.
But I did bring, but I mean, I brought my makeup and stuff, but I was really good about like the sizes of things. And I was just like, and then I brought like 5 suits, only 2 cover-ups, and like 4 little dresses rolled up, 2 pairs of shorts, 2 tanks. And like
I'm
the
honestly
sweat-
getting like a little wet right now.
and the sweatshorts, it worked.
It's no, because this is how that's what I do. I am
And then I did buy 2 really great dresses, long silk, beautiful dresses, and like a cute little bag, and 1 pair of Dolce & Gabbana shoes, which was not a wise choice to buy shoes because they take up room.
yeah.
And so that was my carry-on for the rest of the trip all the way home. I just kept carrying that bag. But yeah, but like that gives you an excuse to buy dresses to wear that night, which is what you kind of want to do.
Yeah, and if you want to, I'm adamant about not having to check it either way because
Yeah.
LAX, I don't like having to wait for a bag at LAX
Right.
either. I've done 10 days, no bag check. I've done 10 days,
Amazing.
but it was Cabo, so it's, you know what I mean?
But also-
it's summer
yes.
clothes. It is easier.
Also, I knew, being that we were on my friend's yacht, and I knew how these things work, that anything I wanted washed, I knew
Right.
it's not difficult to have that done. So it's like, if you can
You
wash
could ask
your
the help.
clothes, yes, it's called the crew. It's called the crew. But if you are in a situation where you have access to a washing, that changes things too.
That's true.
because then
Yep.
it's like, yeah, you just need a couple t-shirts, but you're going to wash them on day 3.
Yeah.
you
Somehow
know.
in my brain, I didn't even register that there would have been a washer and dryer on a yacht. But yeah, of course
Yeah,
there was,
yeah.
right?
It was
That's
it
lovely.
was
Good
so
for
fun,
you.
and they encourage dancing on tables. They don't care about lawsuits. They're like, get on this table, bitch. I loved it. It is expensive. Like food, everything's expensive, but so fun, beautiful.
Okay.
Hung out with Teresa and Louis from New Jersey.
I saw that. Now, did you know they were going to be there?
No.
Oh, okay.
Someone DM'd me and said she was there, and I DM'd her, and we made it freaking happen.
Had you met her before?
No, we're just DMing about,
Yeah.
because I follow the shows and
Yeah.
stuff. No, I did meet her at BravoCon. I met her. That was where I met
Oh,
her.
okay.
And then we, then we like all made a plan to meet, and it was just super fun. And met her husband Louis, and he was taller and cuter and less red in the face. He's just more tan in person.
Oh, well,
Something
he was in
about
same
they're
parts.
very tan people, and I think sometimes on Real Housewives of New Jersey, sometimes the glare makes him look, and other people look a little red. But in person,
Okay.
very cute and very
Okay.
nice, very fun.
Nice.
Into it, they're into each other, madly in love, good times.
All right.
And yeah, so we just had a blast. So I didn't watch it because I don't know, because I read Paris's book instead, which I'm going to get to. I read
Okay.
Paris's book instead of watching Love Is Blind. So last night when you texted me, I was like, you know what? It's 6:45. I'm going to jam through this and I'm going to watch it. And let me tell you something. Binging something like Love Is Blind in 3 hours, you feel extremely accomplished.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
And it was pretty satisfying because as you go on, once they hook up, for those people that don't know, they meet in the pods, they don't get to see each other. They hit it off with 1 or 2 people. Then they go, okay, I'm going to ask you to marry me. Then there's like 5 or 6 couples that go off to Mexico. And then from there, they go and live for like 5 weeks, 6 weeks as a couple. So once they become couples, then you kind of like care about I don't know. Then I was like only into a couple of the couples. So I'd kind of skim through
Right.
the other people's conversations and stuff
Well,
like that.
I think that's what I need to do from now on is watch it that way. Because
Yeah.
John, my husband, he really likes it. So we watch it separately because he
Oh,
is really into it. Whereas
Okay.
I get more annoyed by it, but then I keep watching it, but then I complain about the people and how dumb
Right.
a lot of them are. And so I think, and I don't like, I actually find the pod part to be very painful to watch
yes. The pod I need to get through.
because they just the way they're like, oh my God, What? And I
Yeah.
I'm like, you're talking to a wall.
And then they say a sad story
Yeah,
or
I don't like,
something.
yeah.
And
I would have fallen asleep like the one girl
this one
did.
girl fell asleep, but they
Yeah.
still got married. I'm going to do spoilers. Like, you guys, I'm not ruining anything for you. Who cares? You should have watched earlier.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the fact that the reunion was so built up
Yeah.
to be live, and we still haven't seen it because it's still not available.
Yeah.
I think it's available in some places. I read some people watched it, but the fact that they built it up like this and then it had a colossal failure is crazy to me.
But then I thought maybe this is the marketing genius, because it got me to watch the whole thing last night, because I was like, oh my God, this is going to be huge. And the thing crashed. And they made it sound like it would crash because so many people were trying to log in and watch it. But I don't even know if that's true.
Yeah, I feel like I think they just fucked something up on a technical
And then
end.
it was funny because like Bravo tweeted out, like, we would never do this to you at a reunion. And I thought that was pretty funny. But
Twitter was funny about seeing people melt down. I mean, the people that were actually angry about it I was like, all right, well, you need something else to do. But
I do want to talk about a couple of couples that I was interested in. Okay, this girl, what was her name? Chelsea and Kwame.
Who, by the way,
yes,
was spotted. Someone put it on Twitter or TikTok and Instagram that they found him on season 10, I believe, of Married at First Sight in the casting call.
So he did a casting call, but he wasn't chosen.
He wasn't chosen, but it's the same producers. So,
but I don't think that's so terrible. So I want to say something a little profound.
Okay, go ahead.
I think this Love is Blind show, you should not go on it unless you truly want to try to get married. Really, really, because I don't see these people popping. They're not doing Dancing with the Stars. They're not, I mean, sure, maybe they have some Instagram followers. Maybe they can sell some like flat tummy tea. But there's not anyone from the last 4 seasons that has a longevity in the podcast world or in social influencing world or anything.
No, they're just popular for the season. And
they really are. So like, and I do see why some people, I mean, especially in this day and age, I'm like, every time I watch this and these people are so desperate to get married, I'm always like, why am I not more grateful that I'm married? Like, apparently I have what everybody wants. Whenever we're watching it, and they're like, and I just want to be, with my partner forever and like have a house and like travel. And I'm like, oh, I have that. Why?
why am I miserable? Just kidding.
You're not begging for it.
Well, I guess I just feel that because I agree with you because the Tiffany and Brett, right? No, wait, who stayed together?
Okay, well, Kwani and Chelsea,
right?
So this guy Kwani. He was an immigrant. Kwame. He was an immigrant from when he came over at like 8 years old from, I forgot the country, someplace in Africa, and very smart.
Yeah.
Not only is he a software designer, tech guy, but also like pretty profound in like analyzing their relationship. Like he really became more attractive and grew on me, but they did a real thirsty thing. They did a photo shoot in their underwear for their engagement photos.
I didn't see
like,
that.
Kind of remember when like Chloe took that famous photo with like Tristan's hand around her belly, and that's how they announced that she was pregnant with True before he had another baby with someone else, and then a second one with her, and he's back in the family, but whatever. And and like she's okay, she's cute, she's thin, she's got a nice body, a nice ass. He's super fit, but this was like so cringe. And they have this like English guy being like, "Hey, Kwame, can you just put your forehead on her belly?" And like they're like posing, and it was just, and he's like up on the bed taking photos, and they're like, and I was like, do you imagine?
Who wants to do that for an engagement shoot? Who are you sending that to?
No.
Your family?
And what's also crazy is when she surprises her family with the fact that she's engaged, and she's engaged this guy, and they are like so accepting, so happy for her, so happy for them as a couple, like absolutely. Like, they are embracing him more than Kris Jenner embraces any son-in-law or baby daddy that walks into the house. Like, beyond embracing.
Yeah.
His mom tells him, I'm not interested in meeting her or ever coming to your wedding. You shamed the family by, like, getting married.
And she didn't go.
Didn't go.
So, but this is to the point of you saying you shouldn't do this unless you really want to get married, which I agree.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time believing you want to get married so bad that you started on Married at First Sight and then ended up in Love is Blind. Like, that's more TV. If you really want to get married, why are you only trying to do it on TV?
Right.
So
Well,
that's why
I don't know.
I
I
think
mean,
his mom is like, come on, buddy.
I really hope they make it work. But he also really liked this other girl, Micah, who's the other
Right.
star of the show, who's blonde. And do I have a photo of her? Oh, this is here. Look at these photo
This
shoots.
is looking great, guys.
Oh my God, wait, I have to just go back. I have these more photos. Check out my YouTube. Please subscribe. But like just in their underwear, looking out the window, which is like, ugh, it was really cringe. Here's a photographer. Kwame, perhaps you can have your head on, forehead resting on a chest. And she's like really feeling herself. Like, I'm like, come on, like you're not a model, but whatever. You've had cameras.
She's got a nice body.
And you've had cameras follow you around for like 3 months. That's got to change your point of view of yourself. That's got to make you
one way or the other. It's either going to make you insane or make you really proud of yourself.
Or narcissist. Okay, so this girl, Micah, this is Micah right here. She's pretty blonde. She's 26. He liked her too.
Mm-hmm.
And she it told him, Kwame, I'm interested in someone else. So then he got into Chelsea and they became a couple. But then the Micah girl, who's like sorority girl 26 with like, she does have too much of the bad eyelash extensions. Yeah. She has the Muppet lashes too much and long blonde hair extensions, but she's pretty cute. She's cute enough. She's not, she's pretty. She's not LA pretty, but she's like pretty. She's pretty. It's horrible. But I'm just saying, but her friends think she clearly was the hottest one in the sorority because I just have to tell you the scenario that happens. So the guy she chooses is a scientist.
LA pretty. I'm sorry. Oh, Heather.
I know. I don't care, you guys.
I know.
Come and visit and you'll see what I mean. Okay. So anyway, she's good looking. She's a nice figure. Anybody would talk to her at a bar. Like she's cute. And she would definitely get into sororities. And anyway, so she goes to introduce, but first of all, so she was flirting hard with the Kwame after they were already paired up with their people. When they all get together in Mexico and they hang out with the couples, they're all getting drunk off tequila shots in the pool, and she's like flirting so hard with him.
Yeah.
So that was pretty juicy.
Yeah, and Chelsea was pissed because he was fully ignoring her.
And Chelsea and him had been boning like 3 times a day.
I would have just left right then, to be honest with you. I would have been like, go fuck yourself. Like, that's pretty telling about him. I mean, I know they ended up together and got married, and I don't know, but
we don't know how they are today.
That's a big red flag. I know. Yeah, we haven't
seen it. So, but this is the juiciest. This is the juiciest and the funniest part of the entire series. If there's an episode, we had to look up the episode. Do you remember what episode? I think it was like 8 or something. Anyway, Micah, the sorority girl, brings the environmental scientist, who's now who she's engaged to go meet her 2 sorority sisters. I don't know if they're sorority sisters, but I'm going to guess $9,000 billion trillion that they are.
Right.
Okay. And one girl, Shelby, looks exactly like Micah, but like just a little less hot. The same white hair, blonde hair extensions, the same Muppet lashes, the same like a little too much bass.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of.
Oh, you did a side by side. Oh, here we go. These are the 2 girls. Wait, hold on. Here they are. See how much they look alike?
Oh wow, they really do.
They really, really look alike. They have the same makeup, the same eyebrows.
But why do they wear so much makeup? I want everyone to do what they want, but I just want to say, when you wear so much makeup when you're so young, it makes you look older, and you don't need it.
I mean, I think we're starting to move away from that. But for like 4 years, every makeup tutorial was a 12-year-old doing 12 steps of base.
And contouring and all that.
And I'm baking under my eyes. Why did you bake? You're 12.
They do that on that. Do you watch the what is it? Not Temptation Island, but whatever. One of the other shows on an island somewhere. The one with the girl that. No, the one with like the Alexa pops up. Too Hot to Handle.
Okay.
Oh, and they're on a beach, and they put so much makeup on. I'm like, how can you even enjoy the sun? It's got to be so uncomfortable under all that makeup.
No, I think we're going to be moving away from like the 12 different steps of stuff. Like the whole point of being young is like, not having
not have to do all that.
And then when you get older, just makes you anyway. So they wore a lot of bass, and so. This girl, Shelby, is like such a drunk bitch. And I just want to say, Shelby, if you're listening, obviously, you're a star from this show. You came off horribly, but I'm talking about you, so that should make you happy. Anyway, this girl is a sorority girl who was a real drunk thing all throughout college. And all of them got together. This is what I'm guessing. and, sucked a lot of dicks, okay? And had some fun and got real drunk. But
enjoyed their college years.
And probably not great looking ones, but the guys that they got with. But like they went on spring breaks. They knew the bouncer. They got drunk. They did shots, girls. They had fun. They laughed around at the next day eating burritos.
Party crew.
So she is not happy. She's not happy in her satin green outfit that her friend Micah has a fiance now. And she's already drunk and she's talking to him and she's like, I mean, but Shelby's like the best. I mean, her name's Shelby. Well, Micah's like the best girl in the world. And it's like, you have to get through me. And then Micah's like, you have to understand, she gets angered easily. And she like has ruined every relationship I've ever had. Well, because I care about you. And because these guys suck. And so like, how do you know that she's the right one for you? And he's like, well, from the moment we met, there was just a real connection. And she's like, you're talking like too articulately. I'm not into it.
She said that?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
And she goes, well, he's a scientist. And she's like, yeah, that's what I'm not like feeling. And then she's like, well, we're engaged. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm not with it. She goes, what do you mean you're not with it? She's like, it's not right for you. It's not. So then she does her interview off to the side with the other girl who's the brunette version of them. And she's just like, I say no. And then she gets more drunk and she's like, and now they're crying to each other. She's like, you just don't understand because like, I love you and I care about you and we're best friends. And like, when you sleep, I sleep. I want to I don't think she's a lesbian. I don't think she wants to eat Micah's box. I don't think she wants to be your life partner, but they're 26 now. And it's like
joined at the hip. She doesn't want him to grow up thing.
Doesn't want to grow up.
Yeah.
And she's like realizing that the drunken antics that were like kind of hot and cute at 19 are probably not as appealing now at 26. And her friend is not only on a TV show, but she found like a very cute looking guy. He's by far the cutest one, I believe, on the cast.
I thought he was very handsome.
And really pretty nice and tall and like cute and put together and actually like smart and has a career. And the girls were so bitchy. And then she's like, so I don't know. I don't, because I don't know if I like you. And he's like, well, I don't really care. And then Micah goes, don't say you don't care about Shelby's opinion. She's my best friend. He goes, well, I care about you, but like what? And she's like, don't say that. Like, and he goes, I'm gonna let you guys have a shot. And all I want to say is like, bitchy drunk girls, stop being such fucking bullies to guys at bars. Like they're people too. And like if a guy was being rude to a woman like that, if a guy was being like, I don't want to hear you speak.
Yeah.
Stop your chatter. We'd all be like, oh my God, what a mansplaining dick. Like she was awful.
Well, and Micah was awful in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, she kind of became a little bit more tolerable or like nicer.
Yes.
But I also do feel like I didn't watch it from start to finish. So I don't have a strong opinion on all of them, obviously. So I'll just say how, like, what do you call first impressions? But if your friends are like that.
Yeah.
And then I know that everyone's mad at him because at the end when he said
spoiler
no,
alert, they get to the altar and he's like, and they say, do you take this man to her? And she goes, I want him to go first. So then he says, no, I don't think we're ready to get married.
Yeah.
And then she runs off and, he tries to console her and she's just like, get out. I'm humiliated. And Shelby is cheering from the audience. She's so happy. She's like, that's my girl. We're going to fucking get shots after this.
That's like weird response, by the way, to cheer and to let your best friend go up there and have like, did you see her?
Bro, like, why didn't they use some
wardrobe tape? I know. And then I was
tape.
Like, well, then John was like, it's not a bra. There's no back strap. So I think it was one of those long, it must have been a long back pant, like spank suit or something. Yes. But still, like, why aren't you covering? Yeah.
Because you're not a fucking friend.
Because you're not a good friend.
You're not a good friend. But Micah, look at your back.
But then
get rid of that bridesmaid. Yeah.
Everyone's mad at him for saying that he felt that he didn't see her as a great mom.
I guess he says that in the reunion that some people have been able to see.
Yeah. No, I think he said it before.
Oh, maybe in a conversation.
Yeah, I might be. Yeah, but because on the reunion he had to apologize it from my
Okay.
But people got mad and they were like, "Oh, that's so like gender stereotype and all this." But I'm like, I think it might be based on this shit. It seems like you're still living I mean, look at your friend. Sometimes the friends can tell you a lot about someone, and I'm not blaming it all on her friend, but sometimes it makes you go, wait a minute, why are her friends like this?
If this was like my brother or my son, and I saw these two bitchy girls, especially Shelby, say the thing and the hold that she had about their opinion still being so strong and not being like, I mean, run for the hills.
Yeah.
I
Because Micah should have said, look, Shelby,
Shelby, my drunk sorority sister.
I don't, just as she stood up for her, she should have stood up for him too.
Yeah.
Right? And said, hey.
Yeah. Well, I'm curious to see if they're even seeing each other anymore, but my Netflix was down. So
I know.
they didn't make it, but Kwame and his underwear model, they made it.
Yep.
The two of them in their underwear, Chelsea, they made it.
Underwear happily
And then
ever
there
after.
were two other couples that made it. So I'm not going to get into all that, but that was the juicy part, I thought. Speaking of something that I guess you could do in a cave for 500 days, it took me 3 hours, but for 500 days, this Spanish athlete was alone in a cave. Did you hear about this?
No.
She did it for science. So, she was in a cave for 500 days. That's a whole year. I don't know if
a year and a half.
I don't know if she had any natural light, like a sunroof or something from the cave.
Yeah,
but
because I feel like I'd go crazy. It'd tear your hair out kind of crazy.
when she got out, the first thing she asked was, "Who's buying the beer?" Sounds like a lot of fun. Like this sounds all. Anyway, she entered in November 21st of 2021. She went down into the cave with the intention of staying there for 500 days. She was exploring the efforts of isolation on the body and the mind. She said she could have stayed in the cave longer. She spent her days reading, drawing, exercising, and knitting and vlogging for a Spanish production company to turn her experience into a documentary. Then she lost track of time after 2 months. She never even considered hitting a panic button, and a team was in charge of providing her with food and removing her waste. Ew. She did not want to be contacted down the cave, even if a family member died. So the whole thing is like studying her brain about isolation after 500 days.
It sounds nice right now, like right now I'm like, oh, that kind of sounds nice. I'd like to go in a cave for 500 days. 50 minutes, I'd go crazy.
I realized this would be the worst thing ever for me, because even when I'm extremely tired and I have like 1 or 2 days, when it was raining for it's been raining a lot.
Yeah.
The first weekend of the horrific LA rainstorm, I went and bought stuff to make chili. I was hunkering down. I was really looking forward to just a weekend staying home. By the second weekend, and certainly by the third, I'm like, I'm fucking done with this shit.
You're like, when can I get on a yacht to St. Bart's?
Yeah. I'm like, I need to be social. I need to have fun. I need to go out. So for me, I can't. This would be the worst thing on earth for me. I would not like it like that way too long. But I think there's a lot of people that could probably pull it off with all the right amenities,
I would like
not
to
a cave.
I know, I need to see the inside of the cave. Was it nice? Like the inside of the I Dream a Genie bottle kind
Yes.
of?
Oh my God. I always wanted that I Dream a Genie bedroom with the pink cushions.
Yeah,
I'm like, I could totally be a genie if I had that stomach and that cute living room.
The room looked nice in there. So if it's something like that.
No, I don't think it was. It was a cave. But why did you have to be I guess because honestly, if you were just in a cabin in the woods, that's different. And a lot of people have done that.
Yeah,
so
you
it has
have to be
something
somewhere
the darkness.
Yeah.
I think it's about the darkness.
And hard to get out of, probably. Something
where you couldn't just take a walk around the
property.
Yeah.
Because I am really good at being alone. I enjoy my alone time big time. Almost too much.
Okay.
But 500 days is a lot.
It's very weird.
Yeah.
So good luck to her. But at least she got a documentary out of it.
You said she got the vlog. So did she have?
So she should have cared.
Did she have Wi-Fi?
Oh, maybe not Wi-Fi, but maybe she just.
Oh, she was just recording herself and then putting it up later. Okay.
No, she definitely didn't know anything that was going on in the news. Nothing.
Oh, okay. So
I mean, the thing is that you could come out of that cave and the world could be over with. And there could be dinosaurs walking around again. You wouldn't know.
So it wasn't even going to be. They were, even if something like that was happening. If they said the Last of Us happened, there's fucking zombies eating faces. Do you want out? Well, I guess you wouldn't want out then either.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so they weren't supposed to tell her anything if anything big crazy happened.
I mean, maybe if there was the end of the world, but as far as anyone close to her dying or something really, really no. Crazy. All right, let me just get into the
You gotta catch me up.
Scandavol. So he did his one and only interview with Howie Mandel. And a lot of people wondered, why did he choose to do Howie Mandel? And the reason
Howie Mandel have a radio show?
He has a podcast.
Oh, okay.
Everybody does. He does it with his daughter.
Okay.
And the daughter was a Vanderpump fan.
Okay.
So,
Got it.
But he never watched any. But he did meet Scandavol at a wedding for his producer who married Sandoval's drummer.
Okay.
So that's the connection of why he did that show.
Okay.
And to get his word out. And he's on tour with the drummer and he still wants people to come see the show. So it's kind of smart that he did it. And but it was very frustrating as someone to listen to.
Okay. What did he say?
Well, basically, Howie Mandel, who doesn't watch the show and doesn't know anything, was like, let me just get this straight. For all intents and purposes, we've got a young, talented guy. He's 40. I don't think that's young. Sorry. A young, talented guy who's got a lot of businesses. He's a musician. He's a bar owner. He's kissing Tom's ass. Okay. And for what you're telling me, Tom, you and Ariana, the relationship had pretty much, fizzled out. You're surrounded by a beautiful...
This is why, no wonder he did the interview. It's like
Yeah. But
got
it. It doesn't make... people are like, want to kill Howie Mandel. Okay, so then Howie's like, and, here you are, and you're surrounded by a beautiful, smart, fabulous, great person who's your friend, Raquel. And she's surrounding you, and you guys are good friends. And, you have a moment, you're human, of vulnerability. And, you're not, it's not the relationship you want at home, and it happens. I swear to God, he said you're human at least 7 times. And that's what really pissed me off, because I'm like, no, humans are above animals. We have critical thinking.
Yeah, and also
we don't so I'm like, if there's animals, if you're all coyotes and you're in a relationship with a hot coyote, and then one night you're in a different part of Mulholland or the Valley and you meet another coyote and you're horny, I get it. You might want to fuck that coyote and you forgot that you had a relationship with another coyote in Woodland Hills and now you're in Encino. I get that. Okay. But you're in Valley Village and you own your home that's $3 million with a woman that you've been with for 9 years.
Yeah, that's I don't like that.
So I'm like, I hate that it's human and people make mistakes, because the mistake wasn't. And then when people compare it to Lala, had an indiscretion and Jax did, and Kristen throughout the series, there were cheating moments. There was a girl in Miami. There was this, that. They're like, why is this? And he's like, why is this such a big deal when there's been cheating on the show? It's such a big deal because it went on for 7 months.
Yeah, and
while they were filming,
best friends back. I mean,
they were deceiving not only Ariana, who was best friends with Raquel. They spent that much time together, but all their friends they were deceiving. And then he was also deceiving their counselor. They went to couple counseling.
And
he never told the counselor that he's cheating.
Is Howie Mandel married?
Yes, for 43 years.
Guys, if I heard my husband just being like, you're human. You're human. I hope his wife called him and she's like, well, we were apart. I was human too. Remember that song? I'm only human.
Oh, yeah.
That's what it's about.
It is?
Yeah.
That must be Howie's best friend.
Yeah.
That song.
Yeah, I don't, and so basically was he going along with it? Like, yeah, I guess, I am just human.
I mean,
I'm glad
he
you
was
get
like,
me.
hey, there's no excuse to this and da-da-da-da.
Okay.
But he was also defending himself in that Ariana, didn't want to go to social stuff, that she threatened to unalive herself if he broke up with her, that he did break up with her on Valentine's Day. He said, I want to break up with you. And she was like, no, you're not going to break up with me. And then she turned really sweet and lovely. And he's like, God, I wish you were like this before I started screwing Raquel, because now you're really nice. Whoever gets this version of Ariana is like a really lucky person. But that's not what I had these last few years.
Has she admitted to any of the stuff he said, that she threatened to harm herself or anything?
No, she has not responded to that. They already filmed the reunion before he did the interview with Howie Mandel.
Okay.
And obviously all the, episodes are done and everything. And, but no, then it was just, yeah, I mean, it's just what every cheater says, oh, and then he goes, but we had this big opportunity come up as a couple. Like, I get it. You know, you have a house and no one wants it, but then you can't, it's a deception. It's okay that you don't want to be married to her anymore. And we all agree it sucks to get divorced. It sucks to break up assets. It sucks to, like, whatever it is, you're working together. All of that sucks. But the daily deception for 7 months that you and Raquel did with not only her, but everybody in your friend group. And then they said that he used to call her Jamie in his phone. So he called Raquel Jamie in his phone. So I believe that she probably did suspect he was cheating because he's like, I went off to Miami and, like, Ariana didn't even ask me, like, where I was staying. I mean, I'm like, he's like, and I was acting distant. And she, like, didn't even care enough to be like, hey, like, aren't you cheating? Like, he was, like, mad that she wasn't, like, confronting him and being like, where's your dick been? Like, she was still just like, whatever, we're doing our own thing. So then he goes, so then he's like, so I think what happened the night she discovered it is she was at his show supporting him. His phone fell out. And then I think she looked at this name Jamie thinking this must be some girl he's sleeping with. This is what I think. And then saw all the exchanges and saw the FaceTiming, which was sexual and recorded between Raquel and Tom. And that's when then she knew it was Raquel.
Got it.
And then she calls Raquel, and Raquel's talking to Ariana, and Sheena, who has no clue, who has also just played a best friend game with Raquel on Watch What Happens Live, because she thinks Raquel is also her best friend. She's like, who are you talking to? And Raquel goes, it's Ariana. She just found out that I've been having an affair with Tom for 7 months. Let me just finish this call. And so that's when Sheena's like, what the fuck? And so that's what happened. So, so that is why people are still talking about it, because in the history of reality shows, all reality shows, there have been cheating. There's been husbands cheating. There's been indiscretions. There's been, you know, a straight guy who gets with a gay guy, whatever. But never has there been a 7-month deceptive long affair between cast members. Yeah. That's why people are obsessed with it.
No.
And that's why I keep talking about it.
No, it makes sense. But also there's something new always comes out, like you said with that Howie Mandel. I mean, I just can't. I know that my husband would never cheat on me, but if he did and then he just went, I'm sorry, I'm human, I would murder him. I would murder him with my bare hands.
Can you mark this? Because I, just like Lala, will be profiting off of the arrest of Sarah Colonna.
Right.
Because I'm sorry, but I'm going to be on the documentary because we have this moment.
Be like, she said it on my podcast.
She said it. I thought she was joking. You know. So anyway, he says everyone's been profiting off of this. You know, they have their own podcast. They, you know, Lala had a funny moment where she's like, Raquel sent her a cease and desist, and she's like, I don't need to see that in the morning. Send it to my attorney, Daryl. She made sweatshirts called Send It to Daryl. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to profit off of it. You know, this is our business. This is our job.
It's they're from a show.
They're from a show, and it's about reality, and their podcasts are about reality. And, like, that's it. Like, what do you want? This is what people want to discuss. And all the little Easter egg clues are kind of fun because you're looking back at things and you're like, oh my God, you know, this means this, and oh, this was happening, and this was the date, and who knew, and when, and, like, I'm not going to waste the whole show talking about it, but, like, there is so much that, but I did think this was kind of funny. So I remembered back when there was an episode when Randall was still with Lala, and to get back at Scandavol or whatever, he hired these 2 fake cops to, like, act like he was being arrested.
Okay.
And Katie like never thought it was funny, and they're like, you're a wet towel, why don't you think it's funny? She's like, I just don't think that shit's funny. Like, thinking that your friend is going to be, like, arrested and, like, for charges that, you know, now we have to get an attorney, and, like, they believed it and everything.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it reminded me, like, I don't know, how do you feel about, like, pranks like that? Like, I don't know how I at the time I didn't think it was a big deal, but now I'm like, it is kind of weird. And also, I can't believe that they believed that cops would come in and there's cameras filming their show.
Right.
And they weren't like, hey, we can't have this be filmed. We're arresting. So, like, but whatever. They're not, you know, they're not all the sharpest ones, but still.
I mean, as a lady who worked on a show where I pranked people, Scare Tactics.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Tell us about it.
Well, I would say the only reason I would say that I can speak to someone believing something in the moment.
Yeah.
Because there were things we did, like I gave birth to a devil baby, like a little, and we had a little person, and he was painted red and he had horns and he came out from under the table. Yeah, it's on YouTube if anyone really wants to.
We have to throw a still of this.
Yeah, it is.
I remember this. I didn't even think about this when I asked you this. Yeah.
And the woman that was like the nurse in the facility, if you put someone in a position weird enough, they can just like everyone was like, "There's no way." I was like, "There's no way this girl's gonna fucking believe this." I'm giving birth to the devil baby, but we brought him to like an abandoned like hospital thing. She thought she was working there for the day, and not abandoned, like
right.
Anyway, but you put people in weird enough situation, and and they do. I mean, she was screaming, she was freaking out, and I was like, I can't. I mean, and then I had to shoot up giving birth, right? Like screaming, giving birth, and then like lay down, die.
So she thinks she's like working at this place, but it's a medical facility just for the day. But she's not acting as a nurse; she just happens to be there. And they're like,
she's doing like a desk job for the day.
And they're like, we need you. Oh my God, we're having a difficulty. We need you to come on in.
I think that was I think that wasn't it. No,
that's not it.
That's not it. Yeah, that's from the episode I did. That's definitely
the girl you scared.
Yeah.
Okay.
There was I did a bunch of episodes actually.
Oh my God.
But anyway, if you put people in weird enough situations.
Yeah.
Without thinking, not that he was in a weird situation, he was on his own TV show, but
right.
Sometimes you just don't think fast enough.
I agree. Okay, wait, let's get to this.
But so I guess I can't say that I'm against pranking since I used to get paid to do it. But I don't to like my own friends, I would never do it. Sometimes I couldn't believe the shit people would set, their friends up for.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, with the pranking, when we were at Chelsea lately, there was a whole book written, The Lies That Chelsea Handler Told Me, and it was like a thing that went for like 3 years of like her going on our emails, and like I'd always leave my email open, and I do remember this one thing that she did.
What was that?
So I had a deal with NBC with her for my own sitcom and writing the pilot, and she wrote the girl that I was writing it with, who was like an experienced showrunner. I don't know how to tell you this. I know we're writing a show together, but I found out Peter's cheating and we're getting divorced. And, and I didn't know the email went out. And so I'm like in the meeting. I don't know how I found out. I don't know if I saw a copy of it or if the other writer wrote me and was like, "Are you okay?" And everything, because I'm thinking she's probably like, shit, this deal's dead. It's a scripted show about a woman who's like the whole thing. My whole, as Ariana and Tom is, our brand is staying married. Okay. So my brand was like, I'm married. Like, how could we continue with this show if this is really the case? And also how awful if I'm really getting divorced. And it went on for like 5 hours. So it was like kind of really shitty to the woman that thought she was going to have a sitcom with Heather McDonald for the next 7 years that would have gone into syndication.
Right.
Little did she know it didn't go past this point. But we still had several more meetings and stuff to finish the script. I thought I was like, whatever, she's my boss. So I'm like, haha.
Yeah.
But like, but that, I think pranks and lies and stuff are kind of like a low-hanging fruit of jokes. But there is a new prankster show coming out with Nick Cannon and Kevin Hart on E!
Yeah.
With celebrities. And I remember Ashton Kutcher did it. And there were some fun ones. It is kind of fun to watch when it's like that scare tactic. When you're actually just doing it for the fuck of it. No, every prank should just be filmed for entertainment purposes.
Yeah, I don't mind
do it in real life.
Yeah, I don't mind watching other people's. I don't want anyone to do it to me, and I don't want it to do it to my own friends. I
do remember a story that I met Michael I always say his name wrong, but he's the attorney. He's going to prison for like 20 years. Michael Avenante, he's like this he was good looking and he was always going after Trump, and he represented Stormy Daniels. And he also
Avenatti or something.
Avenatti. Right. And he also tried to blackmail Nike for $25 million. And
or is that Michael Cohen? No.
Yeah.
Avenatti, the lawyer.
Yeah. Anyway, I had dinner with him one night with a group of people.
Oh, right.
Before he was in trouble. Now. And he told me what he thought was a great prank, because he said we were in Mexico. It's beautiful home on the beach. And this hot girl is like swims, swimming in the ocean and starts to talk to my friend. And he's single, or I don't know, he's not with his wife. So she comes around and she's hanging out with everybody. And the wives are like, who is this like hot Mexican girl? And why is she here? And she hangs out all night and they screw and everything. And then she leaves. And so he goes, oh, I have a great idea. He hires like, what do you call the police in Mexico? What do you call the
Federales?
Federales. He hires federales, and they come in the house and they're banging on his door and they're like, this woman has been found dead.
Oh my God.
But she wasn't. And so this guy who basically slept with a girl that I think was probably a prostitute and knew this is where like rented houses of rich people's come, and she just kind of came and like hung out for the day and like whatever, fucked him and maybe got some money or whatever. But he made this guy think that the girl that he slept with, who he saw on her way, he's like, she went in a cab, like she left, like she's not here. They're like, well, her dead body's been found.
Oh my God.
And you are our number one suspect.
Oh, that's not funny. That's mean.
Well, he can think about that prank when he's doing 20 years or whatever he's doing. Yeah, exactly.
Years.
Yeah. But I was like, wow, that's a really scary.
That's
that's like about the scariest thing you could tell a drunk guy in Mexico.
Yeah. 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 Especially once you involve the federales. Yeah, just all of it.
I just paid some federales to come and like scare the shit out of him. Like, and then they're like, ha! Like she's alive. Like, what? Wow. Also, Raquel, it broke Friday that she had checked herself into a mental facility, which then everyone's like, lay off her, don't bully her, whatever. But now the reports are, and I don't know if this is even true, but these are alleged things that it wasn't a mental facility, it wasn't a rehab. It is a place called Miraval in Arizona, which is a very expensive like wellness retreat with like spas. You can definitely drink there. And the Real Housewives of OC went there and did a whole thing. And Shannon Bedore put like a gold thing on her head to like whatever, get the piece. And then Kelly Dodd took a big gong and gonged it on her head. And then Shannon was a little dramatic and she had to go to like the Phoenix hospital that I went to when I fell on my head for like an MRI. And so anyway, that's where she allegedly is. And then meanwhile,
you predicted that, didn't you?
That she would go to I think it's a good call, but I think you have to go to someplace a little more hardcore than like a Golden Door or Miraval. Like it's got to be at least Promises in Malibu. It's got to be at least some level of like, we have real medical doctors, not just like life coaches. Like the life coach can't just be like Tori Spelling's brother.
Right. Getting colonics to get the poison out of your system or whatever.
You know who's a life coach now? I just saw her at a charity event. Remember the mom in Pretty Wild?
Yes.
She's a life coach.
What?
Anyway, she was very nice. There was a
But wasn't the whole point of that show like her kids were kind of a mess or something?
Yeah, but they're better now and she's a life coach.
And we're one of them in a bling ring?
She was in the bling ring.
Yeah.
Yeah, Alexis Nyers, and it's the famous video of her from Pretty Wild calling the writer of Vanity Fair, being like, trying to leave a voicemail message. And she's like, Nancy Joe, you really upset me. You said a lot of lies in this article. You said I went to court wearing 4-inch Louboutin heels. They were 2-inch BB brown kitten heels. Why are you making me look out to be somebody I'm not? Like, and then every time then Andrea the mom would be like, they were BCBG. Mom, they were baby. God. Then she'd have to start the voicemail over again. It is a classic moment. But anyway, Alexis Nyers is a mom and she's sober and she's doing well. And so now her mom is a life coach. Okay. But I'm just saying, if you're going to go this route of lay off of me, I need to recover, it's got to be a little bit more serious than where the housewives go to like burn some sage.
Right.
It's got to be like like real doctors of some level.
Yeah. I read something that said that they're trying, who knows what is true, but they were trying to say that she had already been planning to do this before the news of the affair broke.
Okay.
So I don't know why she's planning it and just now went.
That's interesting if they could find out, like someone's like, yeah, she had a reservation here. We had like, oh yeah, she booked it, 4 months ago because we're running a deal where the 4th night is free.
Right.
Which could totally have happened. Like that pops up and you're like, "Yeah, I should do that in the spring."
Yeah. So now if that's but if that's the case, then she's not even going to deal with this situation. She was just already going.
There was rumors that he was there, then he wasn't, then he was just seen with this girl, Billie Lee, who used to be on the show, as friends. But I thought this was a really great little thing I came across. This is from Dad Talk Today, a funny Instagram. For $250 an hour, I will pose as your couple's therapist and convince your loved one they are wrong about everything. And I think this is like so brilliant because so many people like go to therapy or whatever. And they're like, I can't wait to go to therapy because when I tell the therapist everything this fucker did, they're going to absolutely be on my side.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I was talking about going to therapy at one point, couples therapy. And my friend goes, just get ready because it's kind of shocking when they don't totally agree with you. And I'm like, what? Like, I just assume, like.
I agree with, I remember I went once with a boyfriend, my ex-boyfriend, you know the one.
Yeah.
And the worst. And he was, I remember, mad because he felt that he was like, I feel like, she just takes her side. I'm like, well, it's because you're wrong.
My dad was always wanting to go to therapy with my mom. And he always had to keep switching therapists because they would side with my mom. And my dad was like kind of, egotistical and probably has some definite traits of narcissism. He can rest in peace. I can talk about it now, but like I think so when I look back, now that I understand what that is. And my mom was just like, well, all right, we'll go to the next one, whatever. Except
sooner or later you'll figure out that it's because you're wrong, buddy. Yeah.
But then they stuck with one who wanted to be a stand-up. And they'd bring him to my shows at Luna Park. Remember Luna Park?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I wouldn't want a therapist.
And they'd buy him dinner and everything. Yeah. They liked him.
Well, that's nice.
And then but then they would just go and talk about my stand-up career. They would just both brag about me, and that bonded them.
Oh,
so then that therapist was probably the best for them.
Is that
talking about their golden child?
A comedian now? Do you know?
Probably not.
Right.
I don't know.
Wait, real quick. Did I ever tell you about the time that my therapist fell asleep when I was talking?
In person?
Yeah. In person. I was sitting on the couch and she was sitting in her chair.
Yeah.
And I was talking and then I looked away or something and I looked over and she was asleep, head down, sleeping.
And what did you say?
I said, are you asleep?
And did that wake her up?
Yeah. And she said, sorry. I just feel like you talk about this a lot. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, I pay you to talk about this. Like, what am I supposed to? I'm not. Maybe if I didn't have to talk about it all the time, if you were fucking listening and awake. But yeah.
Well, you know what the thing is with therapy? Because I've only went to a therapist once, like I don't know, a year ago. And then it started during COVID. So then it was just like on the phone, whatever. And it was sort of helpful, but I kind of was like, every time I would like come up, I'm like, oh, it's 3:30 on Wednesday, whatever. I got to like go in my car and like talk to her on the phone somewhere, And she was older. And at a certain point, I was like, I don't mean to brag, but like, could you do a little research on me? Like, I'm not like, because it makes it hard. Like, I shouldn't have to tell you all 50 years of my life. You could either listen to Juicy Scoop, you could read a book.
Yeah.
Then you could just like analyze me. Like, why do I have to like spend, and then she like, she had no idea what I really did for a living or even though I'd be like, I'm a comedian, like you wouldn't like, I don't know. And then I wanted to get rid of her, but then I was like, I think she probably really looks forward to it. I mean, she always sounded so happy when this call started. Hi, Heather. And so I was like, oh, if I dump her, she's going to like, what is she going to have to look forward to? Like because I still would like in my therapy, like crack jokes and stuff.
Yeah.
To like make the story entertaining.
Maybe she pretended not to know because she didn't want you to think that she had like a predisposed.
No, she didn't bother.
No.
She didn't bother.
Oh.
No, she didn't bother. But that's why I just use the podcast as therapy. And if I have something bad, I just put it on Patreon and then I just read the love.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm not afraid to admit it.
No, I like that.
Or I have someone go, you know what, this happened to me, or you know what you should do. And I like that. So I have like, hundreds, thousands of therapists.
Yeah.
I don't need the one that doesn't even listen to Juicy Scoop to give me fucking advice.
I agree with that. Fuck her.
But anyway, I think this is like really honestly genius.
It is,
and I think more people in real life should kind of do this. And I wanted my one friend. She well, she's a famous person, so I don't want to say, but she said, I went to the same therapist that his ex-wife, he brought us both to the therapist, like the couples therapist that he used for his ex-wife, and then the two of them talked. And I asked her, I go, do you think there's a chance that woman's not even a therapist? Because he's a movie producer.
Oh.
What if he just hired an actor?
And?
Oh, I don't know if she's researched it, but I swear to God,
I
wouldn't
would
be
look that person.
surprised.
I would look the person up. I would want to see their credentials.
But even someone with credentials would be like, what do you want me to say to keep you paying me $500 a session under the table?
Right.
I don't have to go through insurance. Anyway, so Ariana is killing it. Ariana is killing it. She got Dancing with the Stars.
Oh.
She went to Coachella. She was seen kissing a girl, but it's this girl, Dania, and I think that they were just doing a kiss for fun. Though she is kind of bisexual, but she was definitely posting and hanging out with this personal trainer all weekend that's in their friend group.
Oh.
So good for her. I think
At Coachella?
Yeah, I think she got some dick this weekend. So good for her.
She looks, I mean, look at her.
She's gorgeous.
Is that from this weekend?
I don't know if this, but she looks gorgeous in all her photos. I mean, she's gorgeous anyway. She's always, and she has like a curvy little sexy body, and she's like modeling for Bloomingdale's, and she's doing all this stuff. So one thing Tom said is, we're still living in the house together. We have not listed it because I'm doing all these shows with his cover band, and she's doing really well, and all these opportunities are coming to us. So we haven't listed the house yet. And I said, you got to list the house. Okay. April is the hottest month to sell your house historically.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. The flowers are out. It's not too hot. You don't want to wait until June or July to list your house in the frickin' valley. So
Right.
I
Oh,
put
right
it
there
out
in the valley.
there. And I think a wise choice is, hello, thank you. Bravo, thank you again. Won't be inviting me to BravoCon, but here you go. $1 Million Listing is starting to shoot in about 2 weeks. We get Josh and Tracy all to compete to who's going to get this listing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
And then that's a fun thing.
How much is their house?
It'd be like, it's in Valley Village, and it's a newer house. I mean, you have a similar style and a pool, beautiful. I mean, I have 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, I mean, and people will want it. And she the interior.
Is there any chance she
is
just
beautiful?
Like, does she want to stay there and he can get out?
I don't think they can. I think there's too much, like,
history and
yeah. And I think they should both get a fresh start. And I think that
that's true.
Then they can also, I think so. Anyway, you're welcome.
Did she have like a nice Coachella outfit?
Yeah,
on?
look at her. Look at that bod. She's got like the tiny waist and the good butt. It's good. Then Frank Ocean, I guess people were disappointed at Coachella. He came out at the end, and closed it, and then he was like mumbling, and it was poorly lit, and then he didn't sing his hottest song, and then he was like, "Oh, they told me it's curfew, bye," and that's how it ended.
Oh,
so people were disappointed about that.
Coachella. I mean, I would never. Have you ever been?
So last year I went for the first time because I had free tickets, and so someone just gave me like their wristband or whatever for like the end of the night.
Did you go VIP?
Yeah,
that's the only way I could
with
ever
a fun
go.
group of people for one of the nights, and I was glad to see it. But I like but we went to this really fun party in the day. Okay, now let me put it out there. I'm going out there this weekend.
So am I.
My house is ready this weekend.
Oh, really?
They're putting in the furniture right now.
Oh.
So you have to come over.
Okay. Yeah, we're going down to see my dad on Friday.
Okay. Oh my God. Okay, we're hanging out.
And then we wanted to get a room on Saturday by ourselves, and we couldn't figure out why all the hotel rooms were so much money. And then I realized because it's Palm Springs and it's Coachella weekend.
Okay, I can't host you to spend the night, but I can host you to
I have
come
my
over
dad's.
and
I don't need
swim.
you.
Oh, you have the dad. Okay. No, but I just was saying in the future, but like Drake's probably going to come down from ASU. And
you don't want Prince Harry and me staying the night with you when
eventually I do.
Eventually
I do when I have all the bed. I don't have it's only 4 bedrooms.
Oh, right.
And one of the bedrooms is like a office and a studio for us to record. So so anyway, I want to put it out there. If you would like to invite me to Sarah, what I like is the party, like the day, I went to a really fun influencer type of party. And it was great food, and there was music, and it was beautiful, and that was
like
in the day.
Villa or something.
No, it was like out in some field thing, and it was really nice. And it was like all the vendors have their stuff, bathrooms, everything was really nice.
Okay.
And then I also went to like some other party one night. So I like the parties. I don't necessarily need to go to the shows.
I just like I've realized.
Are we doing Stagecoach the following weekend?
Is it
The following week
I
is
would
Stagecoach,
I would
and
like to do
I'm
that.
putting it out there. I'd like to go to Stagecoach.
I
Never
would like
been.
to do that, but
We'd
I
like
need to go. I
one
have
night
to go very
VIP.
VIP because I can't.
Yes,
It's not because I'm a snob, but maybe it is.
it
But I can't
is.
do.
We're
I went
old.
when I was like in my 20s during the day to
Yeah.
one Coachella. I don't even remember who I saw or what it was. I went with like an ex-boyfriend. And
Yeah.
I just remember a guy threw up and like it landed on my feet. The bathrooms, porta potties, whatever, it was so disgusting. It's dark. I just can't. So
No.
I have to go.
Well, first of all, I heard
as a
Stagecoach is a totally
civilized.
different vibe because it is like older. It's not teenagers, really.
Right.
And so anyway, I'm putting it out there. Anybody, you can just go to therealheathermcdonald@gmail.com. Let us know if you want to hook up Sarah and I.
I
We'd
got
like to
cute
go-
cowboy boots.
I can put an outfit together in a hot fucking second.
Yeah.
And
I'm not gonna look like Ariana, but I'll get cute-ish.
we'll get cute and we'll be down. Or if you have any kind of like fun other parties happening, I'm gonna be there this weekend and next, okay, in La Quinta.
Okay, well, this is exciting. I get to ride your coattails
I
to a party.
Also, this weekend I watched the Till Death Do Us Part on Hulu, and I fell asleep several times. This is Courtney and Kravis's wedding. It was what did I say?
He's probably going to change his name to Kravis because it's
Travis.
Start with a K.
And it just was. It was a smart thing to put out there and film. I just was pretty boring. I feel like we'd seen it all. I loved her veil. I loved the setting. I loved where they got married. I still hate the dress.
Yeah, I don't like that dress, but I mean,
it's still so weird for like. It's just it's awful. It's awful. Like, I mean, it could have been so stunning. I don't know why she felt the need to do like a short dress that was like with a this all. It just was.
I feel
awful.
like she I don't really follow her enough, but I just feel like everything I see, it seems like she always sort of takes on the personality of like the person she's with. So she all of a sudden is like rocker girl, and I think she thought this was like a Gwen Stefani type, something like that. And it's like, you're not though.
And I also feel like they're so PDA. Every time they kissed on this, whether it was right after they were Mr. and Mrs. whatever, she kisses him and bites at the bottom of his lip real hard.
Oh.
That's the way they kissed. And they're like, ugh. And he's all over her. So I think he was like, I love your legs. I love your legs. I love your legs. And she was like, I want to show my legs on my wedding.
Oh, okay.
That's what I think.
Well.
So good for them. Sisterwives. Christine Brown, who left, she was wife number 3.
Right.
She left. She fell in love and is engaged. And then her daughter is also engaged to a woman.
Oh, wait.
On Sisterwives.
But she fell in love with
a man.
Oh, okay.
Who's a widow.
Gotcha.
And they're engaged.
Oh.
And they're getting married really fast. And people wondered, or have they not screwed? How Christian is she? And maybe that's why they're getting married so fast. I disagree. I think they're screwing.
Really?
I hope they are. And then the daughter is getting married to a girl, and she's 21.
I mean, especially since like when you're older, you got to just have sex before you get married. What's the point of waiting?
And she didn't have sex with Cody for 10 years. She said they weren't intimate for 10 years.
Oh, wow.
Also, I heard Robin, the wife number 4, is like a compulsive shopper and hoarder, and that's why they never filmed in her house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like there's bags and clothes, and she can't stop spending. Which is another reason all the other wives got screwed over because they'd pool their money. You know how waitresses pool their tips?
Yeah.
Now imagine you were like the highest earner and the one that had like one table who forgot to bring out the lamb chops. She has to get as much as you do.
No, that's not right.
No, it's not.
I don't like that. Maybe she's trying to get on Hoarders. Maybe she's like, I don't want to be on this show anymore. If
You're
they see
right.
my house
she
enough,
should.
maybe I can get on Hoarders.
I read the book, Paris's book.
Okay. Tell me.
It was interesting. I'd love to have her on the show. I have so many questions. She came off great. She gave good advice about things. The main thing is really exposing how awful these schools were. You remember? Remember we'd always hear about it. Like there'd be like 48 hours and 2020s, and like Dr. Phil. Like if your kid is the worst, it's like a scared straight kind of a thing. But the only way they can get you to these like schools that are going to change you is to kidnap you in the middle of the night, because otherwise the kid will run off when they see what it is. You can't versus like even with an intervention, they sit you down and they give you the choice, even though they're like, we've got a car waiting for you. This is everybody talking. But of course, they're like your teen. So they would scare these rich parents, the Hiltons being them, to say, and at that time she was escaping, she was having fun. She was like 14, 15, and she was out all the time. She's going to clubs. And they were like, we really thought that she was going to be like murdered because she's out running the streets or become a drug addict unless we sent her to these places. And so they just believed them. And it was absolutely awful. And she's
Oh.
one great thing is that she's done all this legislation and everything to expose it. By her telling her story, she exposed it, but now they're closing these schools. And I think that's part of the reason.
What are the schools?
So
They're
it's
in?
like it's out in the middle of nowhere. There's several. It started by this guy who literally was a cult leader that did something in Palm Springs. And of like, and then and they get these people, and she went to like 3 different ones because she kept escaping. There's no education at all. They're not learning math, geometry, nothing. They go there as teenagers and they break them down. They scream at them. They tell them they're a piece of shit. They have to do cavity searches. They can't have their own clothes. They treat them like the worst prison situation, like worse than an American prison.
God, I didn't even know that she had to.
They can't call their parents or anything. And then I remember when she got out, and because she could finally leave at 18, she couldn't leave until she tried to escape 3 times, and she would like call. One time she escaped and got to a phone and called Kyle, her aunt. And I guess then Kyle called Kathy, and then the people came and got her.
Oh my God.
And it was just like, and the parents just didn't, because they were like, they're going to lie to you. They're going to say we're treating them horribly. They're going to do anything to get out so they can start running the streets again and having sex and doing drugs. Is the only thing that's going to keep your kid alive is if you keep them in this place. Scaring parents, making them believe that. So that's what kept these places in running.
Yeah.
And then when she got out, she just was like, I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to bring it up. I don't want to embarrass my parents. Like, I just want to, but I want,
So
but
did
the one
the
thing,
public know she was in at the time? Did we know that?
No.
No. Okay.
So they thought she was at a boarding school in London when she started to become famous again, and they'd ask her stuff. I remember watching it. I'm like, how is this girl with this pedigree? Why isn't she in college? I remember thinking like, why aren't these parents valuing education? That's so weird. And they did, but it was like Kathy, married into this family young. Kathy Hilton, her mom, married into the Hiltons young. And I think she was very much, I want to keep the reputation of the Hiltons that I married into and our current family. And like, I'll do anything to keep you. And I really do believe that she thought, I'll do anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember my brother was really very, very troublesome. And we caught him selling drugs out of the house and all this stuff. And there was a home in our neighborhood that I think still exists, but it's called this like Pacific Lodge Boys Homes, whatever. And I mean, this is gonna be awful, but I'm just telling you guys this is the truth. In the 70s, my mom would be like, that's the bad boys home. We're gonna send you there. We're gonna send you there to my brothers, And my mom said at one point she did call. And by the way, it's a fantastic facility. It's been around for 40 years. There's never been an issue. It's a great place.
Okay.
But it really is for like foster kids that are struggling or like on the verge of getting in trouble or, But so when she called, how can I send my son there? They were like, no, he has to have committed a crime.
Oh.
But so I think people were just desperate.
Right.
To like be like, how do I save my kid? And so anyway, that was all really juicy. And then
And is she or her and her mom, like, do they have a good relationship now?
they're good. They're good now, but it's still really weird. And it's still like the mom feels so guilty. She doesn't want to talk about it. And she's just like, I want you to, and then, there's lots of dark stuff. She was never like physically assaulted per se, like sexually in the school, but like they would be like, you need another gyno exam, kind of like what that gymnastic teacher did.
Oh, God.
So they'd have these gyno exams like all the time, like in the middle of the night and stuff. And several of her friends would have to go. And it was like all these people just, like off.
Jesus.
It was
Oh, God.
so bad. But it's really good that she
Speaking out about it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and she kept putting it off and then finally decided to share it. And but like the questions I have for her is like she speaks, she's like, these are my friends. She says a couple fun stories about Kim. My question for her is, now you guys are in your 40s and your moms and you guys are friends again, you and Kim. But there was a time when they didn't talk, when she was making all this money with her perfumes and everything in Europe and in Asia. But Kim was way more relevant than she was. Like, I didn't know she was doing all this stuff. And I ran into Kathy Hilton. I'm like, what's Paris up to? She's like, oh, she's on her 15th fragrance or whatever and making millions and millions in Japan. And she's got clothing line. I'm like, oh, I didn't know that. All I knew is that Kim basically stole her persona and got her own reality show. And at that time, like, the Hiltons weren't talking to Chris and they were like kind of pissed about it. And I never knew what happened. So I would say, obviously you must have been a little pissed or jealous that she like stole your vibe.
Yeah.
But now that you're in your 40s, you realize like, of course we should be friends. Nobody's been through what we've been through. Like, we're the only two people in the world that can relate to each other the way we can relate to each other.
Right.
There's no assistant and no hairdresser that can really relate to what you and I can relate. So like, I'm glad they're like friends again.
Yeah.
But there wasn't that kind of juice, you know, like she just shared.
She should come on the podcast.
I know she needs to come on the podcast because I really have a lot of questions.
But plus, I didn't know she had a book out, so she needs to come on the podcast.
Oh yeah, I know. So the book is
Promote
good.
It,
the book is really good. Who's the one that did the book report? Jacob Havlick did a in-depth book report for me. So after I read it, I could go and remind myself of it. So I may still talk about more of it. But one thing I want to share with you that I thought was really good is she talked about how right before she went to prison, she got a DUI. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
She got a DUI, but she was pretty low on blowing it. And then her attorney gave her the wrong information saying that she could drive, providing it was work or something. But I guess she couldn't. So then she was pulled over. She was speeding or she pulled over. And then that is what now caused her to now have to go do time. So she was set to do like 90 days. And I think she got 23. And a couple days before she turned herself in, she went to the MTV something awards. And Sarah Silverman was the host. And Sarah starts doing these jokes about Paris Hilton going to prison and her sex tape and all this stuff. Oh. And she's in the audience.
It's so uncomfortable.
And so anyway, she has a podcast too. So she's talking about it. And her sister, Nikki, and they're best friends and always have been. Nikki's like, that was so fucking awful. That was so mean, you know, because then she kind of went on about how all of us would, you know, not all of us, but like the late night shows and stuff were so making jokes about them. And remember there was,
we totally did on Chelsea.
Look at this New York Post article I pulled up. 3 bimbos of the apocalypse, no clue, no cares, no underwear, meet the party posse of the year. This is from New York Post, November 29th, 2006. And that's when Lindsay, Brittany, and Paris were all hanging out every night. And this article is like, she's been out every night. She has 2 kids at home about Brittany.
Right.
And remember Brittany forgot to wear underwear?
Yeah.
And she was getting out of the car like this. You know,
I remember that.
And so I remember I joked about it on Chelsea lately.
Yeah,
and
we definitely joked about it.
And I was like, I think that, you know, Paris was like, it looks so much better without underwear. Like, I joked that like she must have given her the idea not to wear the underwear.
Right.
But so just that there was like, why is there such hate for like these 3 girls? But it was just pop culture stuff.
Yeah.
And so then Sarah then responded on her podcast to it.
Oh.
And she wrote what she said, and it was really good. Sarah Silverman said, you know, I feel terrible about it, but at that time, we made fun of what was in pop culture, and we didn't think about the person behind it or something like that.
100% true. And because there's times I look back and I'm like, there were times that we ripped on like Lindsay or Brittany, you know, and I know that, and then you realize later, like, they had much bigger problems going on, but it was just the shit in the E-News. Like, we weren't thinking that far about it, but now we would, you know?
But one thing Sarah said, which I thought was so profound, is she said, comedy is not evergreen. And I was like, that says it all. Whenever somebody wants to bring up something that someone said or did 10, even 5 years ago, certainly later than that, and is like, look what this person said in 2014. If you're not saying it in 2023, let it fucking go.
I agree
because
with that.
It's not evergreen. It's like something that was funny. Watch a movie from 10 years ago while you're getting your hair blown out. I call them the dry bar movies. And they'll use the FAG word in it. I just watched this movie, Baby Mama, with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler. Believe Tina Fey wrote it.
Yeah.
Where Tina Fey gets Amy Poehler to be her surrogate. She's a single mother. And she's talking about how she's afraid it's going to be her hermaphrodite and what she would call it. And like, that's like a funny joke. Well, now you would never put that in a movie today with whatever, with LGBTQ and trans kids. And
it's not evergreen. I mean,
it's not evergreen. Even if it was funny in 2014.
Even if you think, what was that? There was the Judd Apatow movie. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was the Judd Apatow movie because I remember Leslie Mann was in it. And I feel like she's always, but it was like, she was playing she was like driving drunk. And
that 40-year-old virgin. She was super funny in it.
And it was like, and she was like blowing into one of the things on her car or something because she had so many you wouldn't, you wouldn't do that now. You wouldn't show it as a joke that someone's driving fucking drunk.
Right.
Like just all those, anything. Like there's so many things.
And I'm sure Mad probably wrote a letter, but because we didn't have Instagram and TikTok and everything, probably nobody cared about that letter.
Right.
It was a hit movie and nobody cared.
Right.
It's comedy. Shut up.
Yeah.
But
that's a cool response though from her. And it's very true.
Yeah. And so that was really good. Anyway, speaking of Paris, check out the book. Barbie trailer came out. Did you see it?
I have not seen the trailer.
I'm going to say not excited.
No.
Well, I think the difference is it's not like remember the Brady Bunch movie, how hilarious that was?
Yes.
Because they basically did a whole movie about the Brady Bunch, but they took all these aspects of all the episodes. And for people our age, you've seen every episode like 500 times because there wasn't that much to choose from. So you'd do reruns all the time. So it just really clicked. But with this, it's just dolls. Like it's not Scooby-Doo or Flintstones.
Yeah.
So I don't understand.
There's no like story to draw from. It has to all be made up.
So the jokes are just like, everyone's named Barbie and I guess, smooth genitals and just like the jokes we probably saw in Toy Story and stuff like that. But a lot of people are really disturbed at how old Gosling looks. That he's too old to be Ken.
Oh.
And she's a little old too, they think, for Barbie.
Oh.
Margot Robbie.
Well,
though she's gorgeous.
I mean, I feel like aren't they ageless, Ken and Barbie? I mean, do we really know what age they are? They've been around a long time.
Well, that's what they're saying. Why did Ken age?
Right. Oh.
Anyway,
poor Gosling.
People seemed excited about it, but then I felt like, but then when I kept looking in the comments, then people were kind of saying the things I'm saying.
I don't feel like I'll see it. It doesn't. If I just heard, there's a movie called Barbie, I didn't really know about it, and I don't think I would see it, even though I really love Ryan Gosling. But I'd rather see him, be smoldering and dark. I don't want him to be Ken.
Right.
Well,
they have different Kens, so they have all different like types of Kens on the thing. But anyway,
you're not selling it any harder.
We'll see. I didn't think the trailer got that great. So Megan Markle was never likely to attend the coronation, but was put in an impossible position. So she's not going.
Right.
Prince Harry is going. She says, I'm going to stay home for Archie's 4-year-old birthday party. I'm sure Archie wouldn't have known if she booked the, pack and play or balloon, whatever, under the sea indoor place.
For a different day.
But I mean, I will say that I kind of think this is the right thing to do. I mean, she's not going to be well received by the people of England. She's not going to be well received about the people they talked about, but it's important that he goes. So I kind of think it's like the perfect combination.
Yeah, I don't know why you would want to go where everyone's just going to bash you. And I mean, why go?
But then when I talked about it a little bit on Patreon, then someone said, no, Heather, they were requiring all this extra security and they wanted all this extra stuff. I don't know if that's true either. But and then people are like, she's a thirst trap just because she can't get, it won't be about her. And this, I'm like, I disagree. Like, that's the thing with her. And I've talked about, there's things I like about her, things I don't like about her. I think she's exaggerated the truth. And I don't think she's very truthful in a lot of stuff she's talked about. But I also want to say, like, as someone who doesn't want to be in a room with people that don't think I'm fabulous, I agree with her.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't.
I mean, like, why?
Why would you want to go where a bunch of people don't like you and a country that's always like they're brutal to her in the tabloids and stuff? Like, I don't know. Why would you want to go?
If she goes, it's like you're a thirsty bitch that talked badly about us. If you don't go, oh, you're a selfish bitch who's staying home in California.
Yeah.
All right. Like, you cannot win.
No. So just stay home.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't blame her.
It's like when Melissa Gorga didn't go to Teresa and Louis' wedding. She couldn't win. If she went, she was drawing attention. If she stayed home, she wasn't going to her sister's wedding.
Yeah.
Can't win.
Can't win.
Also, Fergie supposedly is not invited with Prince Andrew.
Oh.
Which I don't know if that's true, but, Andrew has been, a big problem. He was, Epstein's best friend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know why they wouldn't be invited. I think these people are invited, but I don't think they're like maybe on the balcony.
I would invite her, just not him. Right?
Yeah, wouldn't you invite the redheaded nieces?
Yeah, I would just maybe Andrew can't come, but I would invite her.
Yeah.
What does she do?
Well, let me tell you about this one.
Oh boy.
A man kidnaps his girlfriend, speaking of pranks, at gunpoint in shocking marriage proposal in TikTok video. Oh my God. Okay, let me just remind you. So this wasn't here. It was in Lebanon. So, I mean, you just like Paris, who thought she was truly being kidnapped in the middle of the night to go to Provo or whatever that Utah school is. This girl really thought this is the end of her life. So it was a TikTok, and it was posted by his sister, the groom, who captioned it, "How my brother decided to propose in Lebanon." The video shows the bride-to-be Vanessa cruising in the back seat of a sedan with her family when they are stopped in the middle of the road by apparent criminals wearing, I don't know what this word means, like, I guess scary covers and scary look. Yeah. Okay. She was screaming to let her go, the kidnapper, and was driven to the beach where she's kidnapped, where she's basically thinking she's going to probably be raped, killed, beheaded. We don't know. She gets to the beach, and then they're like,
wait, was the family in on this? Her
yes!
family?
His whole family. And her family.
Because they were in the car. So okay, go ahead. And then they get to the beach.
She's screaming, "Please let me live," and everything. And then they take off her blindfold, and then it's him. And so he said he was always going to scare her into marrying him.
Did she say yes?
I mean, probably at the moment, I would say yes, because I would just be like, "Get me the fuck out of here." I don't think she's American, but I would probably say yes, and then I would do whatever it took to leave Lebanon, because I wouldn't trust any of these people ever fucking again.
I wouldn't trust it. Just the I mean, that's.
But I would say yes, just because I think
I would just say
they're a prankster couple, like for on YouTube.
So she sometimes she puts I don't know, chocolate on the floor and pretends it's poo poo, and then sometimes he kidnaps her and makes her think she's gonna fucking die. I mean, I don't like, and none of this is okay. I am absolutely not. I would say no. I wouldn't talk to him. I wouldn't talk to my family. I wouldn't talk to his family.
Here's the thing with any kind of surprise or whatever. Couple things. If you're going to throw someone a surprise party and you want them to look cute and you're taking them out, don't tell them it's going to be something so great and then it's a surprise party at your friend's apartment. Don't say, "I'm taking you on a private jet and we are going to see Adele because she's my friend." And, and then you're like, "But wait, we just come with me. I just want to hand, I just want to hand Joe this painting I did, and he's going to be excited." And then you go up to the apartment, in whatever Reseda.
And you're not going to see Adele, you're going to.
And then they're like, "Surprise." That happened to this guy once, where he thought he was going to the Playboy Mansion. And then he stopped at the bar and we're like, "Surprise." And he's like, "Oh, okay, but we need to get to the Playboy Mansion." They're like, "No, there's no Playboy Mansion, you idiot. We got you here to tell you it was a surprise party." I'm like, no, like it has to be just like a simple dinner, dinner. So you're cute. And then, "Oh my God, all my friends are here." Same thing with any kind of surprise proposal, like whatever that is. I think the best surprise proposal work, especially for TikTok value, is you're with your girlfriend is with her girlfriends. So they're in on it. They know that she's pretty, getting pretty for the night, looks cute, her nails are done, that type of thing. And then they're like, "Okay, for, tonight or whatever, maybe they're on vacation tonight, we're going to go out to dinner. Like, I saw this." And then she's walking, and then the friend is like, "Oh my God, look at how pretty that sunset is." And she turns, and then he's there. And she didn't even know he was going to be in town.
That's nice.
You have the friend film it. She's
Sounds
surprised.
Nice. Yeah.
That is what a proposal should be.
Yeah, that's nice. Not, I thought I was going to get murdered and die. This is unacceptable. I mean, and now what? Now what's next?
How
I
do you
mean,
top
they're
the
always
birth?
going to
Yeah.
one up each other.
How do you top? I guess when she gives birth, you'll have to hire that little person to run out of her crotch like. That's the only way she can top it. Hopefully, she's a juicy scooper. She's gonna mark that down for when I give birth.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, here's the baby, and it's like a dummy baby that has like horns coming out of its head, and she's to the nurse, take the other baby. I'm gonna, or that's what she does with her in-laws that were in on this, who aren't there for the birth thing. She's like, now let's like, you know those babies that they make that are so lifelike.
Yeah.
You can commission them for like $5,000 for some weird woman that just wants to act like she has an infant all the time.
Yeah.
You make one that's like really fucking scary, like a third eye and horns.
Yeah.
And then they're like, meet your grandchild. And then they're like, ha ha. Yeah.
I guess. Because I mean, aside from actually murdering each other, I don't know how you top that prank. So
the last story I want to talk to you is pretty juicy. This guy, his name is I can't say his name. Anyway, he's a German football player. And when he was 19, he married this woman. He met this woman who's 31 and they got married. Now he's 24 and she's 36. They share 2 sons. They have been married a while. She's a TV actress. She has 1.3 million Instagram followers, everything. But he was unfortunately accused of rape earlier this year. And she did not come to his defense. And instead, she went to go divorce him. And she wants half of his fortune. But now that she's divorcing him, she found out he's put all of his money in his mother's name. All of his assets in his mother's name, and always has. And she didn't know that.
Oh, he always has.
I
so
think
that
he
it's
always
not, yeah,
has.
because if he changed it, then they would be able to.
I mean, we're talking like $500 million type of money. And he's only 24. And I put like under it, there was some article and I just put a comment and I was like, every boy mom whose son can like kick a ball is like taking notes right now. And is like, yeah, this bitch ain't gonna take my baby's money.
Oh, that's crazy. I better
So
check the
I
records.
was gonna say, I know you're close to your mother-in-law, but you might no, like that's like some serious like boy mom shit.
And there's no, I mean, can she sue? Can she do, I don't.
I mean, it's ongoing. We'll see what happens.
That's crazy.
We'll see what happens with them. But I mean, yeah, she was probably just like, I was talking to this guy who was a former basketball player. And he said right when he got on the team, I don't know if it was for college or professional, he said they would have a briefing and they would literally in a room have photos of a girl. And it's like, this woman, her real name is Sarah Colonna. Okay. She goes by Sally. She has 8 kids by 8 different men. She will meet you at this Starbucks. They would warn the guys on the team, this girl's going to show up here. Her tactic is this. She does this. She goes by these aliases. This is what she eats. This is what she drinks. Stay away. Stay away. Because she has your baby. Doesn't matter if she's got 8 babies from 8 different NFL or players. If you only have one baby, if your first baby is with her, she's going to get 25% of your gross income, child support. So if you're making $10 million a year and you're 22 and you have a baby with this girl and it's her 9th baby, doesn't matter. You're going to have to give her 2.5 for 18 years.
That is insane. I know that John had told me some stories about meetings that they would have to prep them for life stuff, but I never heard that one before. But I'm going to have to ask him if there was any photos
of you.
Yeah. Stay away from this girl.
For the record, John pursued you. Sarah, you have some fun shows coming up. Please do tell.
I'm going to be in Oklahoma City, May 4th through the 6th. Cinco de Mayo weekend. Fun weekend to go out.
Yes.
I'm sure the club has margaritas.
Yes.
At Bricktown Comedy Club, May 4th through 6th. That's at bricktowncomedy.com, sarahcolonna.com. Please listen to my podcast. We cover Married at First Sight right now. It's called Are You My Podcast? And when Married at First Sight is off, we do other fun, silly stuff.
I had someone ask about the clutch discount for the Juicy Scoopers. Please explain.
That's right. I saw a few Juicy Scoopers were posting about it lately. I think that's because of Taylor Swift. A lot of people are going to Taylor Swift concerts, and she performs in stadiums. So it's clutchwomen.com. I have stadium-approved bags, so you don't have to carry an ugly clear bag. They're very cute. They're made in the USA from wonderful material that'll last you forever. And Juicy Scoopers always get 20% off with the code Juicy Scoop, all one word.
Oh, thank you. They're a great way of promoting yourself, and you get the bag, go to the show, Oklahoma City, listen to Sarah's podcast, follow her on Instagram if you aren't already. It's Sarah Colonna 1.
Yeah.
The other Sarah Colonna, not as fun.
Not as fun. Stole my name and my account and my handle.
Thanks, girl.
Thank you.